We're with Ian Ritchie, Chief Executive of the Rugby Football Union at Rugby Expo 2012. Ian, these are exciting times for rugby, but it's a time which is not without its challenges. How do you read that situation?
Well, I think you always look at the positives. I think the positives are, with the World Cup coming up in 2015, we've got 4 sellout internationals this autumn. I think there's a good connection within the game and trying to bring it all together. So I see many more positives than I do negatives. Any game has challenges, but I think we've got a great opportunity over the next few years to grasp all the positives.
And there are issues around the professional game at club level, but there is growth to be had at the community level. Here at Rugby Expo, community clubs are a very important part of that. What can the RFU do to support community clubs in their attempts to grow themselves and the game?
Well, I think that's one of the things the RFU we should be thinking more about. We have 2,200 plus community clubs. We want to support them. I think one of the ways is most of the recent sponsorship deals we've done, with BMW, with RBS, with O2, have all had very strong community activation attached to them. And I think that's absolutely vital, that it gets down to the communities, down to the grassroots. For example, we did the New England kit launch with Canterbury this year at Drybrook in Gloucestershire. We didn't do it at Twickenham. We held a competition, asked clubs to compete, why should they hold it, and Drybrook won. So I think it's very important for us to get out into the clubs and to engage with them and to let them feel that they're part of it. And again, 2015 gives a fantastic opportunity to involve and engage them with that.
How important is it that rugby improves its footprint or grows its footprint geographically within England, because there are still holes in the north, despite the fact that's where you started your own rugby?
Well, yes. Having been brought up in Leeds, I can't pretend to not know anything much about north of Watford. I think there are, of course there are, but I think these are growth opportunities. We should see it like that. 2015 will have matches in the north of England. That must provide a great opportunity. The community game in the north and participation levels are actually holding up pretty well. Clearly there's only Sale who are in the PRL at the moment, and that's an issue one wants to sort of look at. But I wouldn't like to convey it as rugby's not vibrant in the north. There are things to do, but there's plenty of good community activity still going on there.
Great. Now, one of the first jobs that you had to undertake when you took on your role at the RFU was the appointment of Stuart Lancaster as the coach to the England team. What's the report card on Stuart so far, both with the team and his wider role with rugby in England?
Well, I think the great thing about Stuart, and indeed all the coaching team, is that level of integration. They've been out talking to community coaches, they feel engaged, I think, with the fans, and they've started to have, I think, a very good relationship with Premiership Rugby and the coaches there as well. So I think that rapport is vital. I think what Stuart also did was establish a culture and a set of values that, frankly, we all embody at the RFU, and which I think is becoming apparent with the England team. And I don't see it as a coincidence that we sell out Fiji, we sell out the next autumn games. I think that the fans feel that Stuart is a person to support because they can see all those values embodied in what he's doing.
Right. Now, Rugby Expo is back for the second time at Twickenham, and there's a partnership in place to return for the foreseeable future. How important is Rugby Expo to the growth of rugby and the development of rugby?
Well, I think you put your finger on it. It should be all about growth of rugby and people who work in rugby and who have business opportunities or partnerships. And I really like the way that Rugby Expo is having a community day as well. Over 300 club members coming down for free to express their views. And I think it's a great balance because I think that integration is very important. And I think the role of the RFU, we're delighted that you're here at Twickenham because we should be supporting this. This is all about rugby. Our raison d'etre is rugby. All we do is invest in rugby, and therefore we want all those participants to feel that the RFU are helping and supporting.
Ian Ritchie, thank you very much.
Pleasure.